ALG really saved me. I put all of my success on joining this group. People constantly checking in saved me.
I made so many friends with people that I've never met, but I feel incredibly close to, and I consider them family.
It really is a family. It is a place where you can just be yourself, and there is no judgment. There is no shame. You are so welcome there.
Nobody has to be in this alone. Everybody is either going through or has gone through the same thing at one point.
Let's do this.
Guys, welcome back to another edition of the ALG podcast. If you're listening to this on the day it dropped, then happy Friday to you. If you're listening to this live on the special edition of the ALG watch along episode, then welcome to our first ever live podcast. Guys, the podcast today is sponsored by our good friends at Redcon One. For the highest state of readiness, go to redcon1.com. Use promo code T20JARPS to save at checkout. And our good friends over at Real Good Foods also have a promo code for you. Use promo code The Gains in Between. That's The Gains with a Z in between to save at checkout. So without any further ado, I want to welcome everyone back. I am, as always, John Arpino, otherwise known as JARP's Journey on Instagram. I am joined alongside my partner in crime, Fit_D-Rock, otherwise known as David Roden. And this is the Accountable Life Group podcast.
I could use the media. I don't have it. I jumped over, so we're good right now. I'm lit for this. This is something unique and different. We were texting back and forth, like, what are we doing this episode on? And it just hit me. I was like, we always put up these pictures of our transformation at different points in time, but they never usually get context. And I think context is super important. So I thought it'd be just a really cool idea to take some of our worst pictures, some of our best pictures, and then put them in a light that is more real. Because obviously, when we do these before and after transformational pics, it's like, okay, that's great, but what does that mean? Let's give more context to what's going on. So,
see, David already lied, and we're not even 5 minutes into the podcast.
What does that mean? What
see,
did I do?
when the assignment was given, it was pictures that have a backstory. It was never, give me a couple of befores and then maybe a good looking after. So mine are all befores, and they're all me at my worst. And then there's, David has his, and you're going to see his. And then there's one where he's just, a chiseled piece of man meat.
It's a chiseled piece of man meat.
So just keep that in the back of your head. And if you're listening to this on the audio version episode of the show, I beg you, pause that, go onto the YouTube where this will be afterward, and watch the actual video version of this, because you're going to want to see some of these pictures.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to be real. This episode's gonna be super difficult. If you're an audio version right now, if you're listening to this in your car or whatever, there's not gonna be a lot of context of seeing the picture, but it's still great to listen no matter what, because you're gonna get a great story. But if you are listening to this on audio, highly recommend jumping over to the YouTube channel so you can see the pictures to go with it. But all right. Yeah, I did put a chiseled piece of man meat in there, John. I had to.
I'm going to try to describe these pictures best as possible for our audio-only listeners.
This one, I even had to preface, John, and ask you about beforehand, because this one, I had a hard time.
That is a legendary shot.
I got to be real. We got to talk here. You're suffering in this picture. I don't know how close to death you are in this picture, but you're
pretty
suffering.
Close.
There's no question you are hurting in this picture.
Yeah.
And someone had the audacity in your moment of just complete struggle and deathbed almost from the look of this. You are pure suffering. Someone decided, I'm going to take a picture.
Yeah.
Can you please give me the backstory of this?
So if you follow me on Instagram, you've seen this photo a billion times. I use it in a lot of before and afters. It's me sitting very large on a chair in the hospital, and it looks like I'm dying because I was. This is actually our really good friend Anthony DiDomenico's favorite picture of me. So when I call his phone, this picture pops up. I swear to God. So so this was the day that my journey began. This is when I code blued in my house. This is when I successfully got to the hospital. This is after they took me off the BiPAP machine, so I'm admitted into a room at this point. And I had friends that came to see me, and one of my friends was just like, I might as well take a picture so you remember how bad you fucked up and hopefully you never do this again. And I was like, all right, cool. Yeah, like.
So did you know the picture was taken when the picture was taken?
No, not right there. I didn't know the picture was taken. No, I had no idea. I didn't have the slightest clue.
That would it still blows my mind because I'm just sitting here going, just like.
That's a monumental photo.
It's like I wish I had something that extreme. I don't like. I have a couple like that. That will show a little bit later, but
like you got to see. Look at just for example, like we really let's break down this photo for just a quick second. Look at those tree trunks of legs going on right there. Okay, each one of those legs has its own zip code. All right,
they're
like
pretty. Actually, it's actually kind of comical. The chair you're sitting in. Look at the legs holding you.
Yeah.
Versus the legs you have.
Right. Yeah.
There's a lot of trust in that chair. A lot of trust.
Yeah. Oh, a lot of trust in that chair. A ton of trust in that chair. And then there's me who has no idea what is going on. I'm floating in and out of consciousness still at this point. And yeah, probably thinking that my life is basically over. Hospital socks. You know, hospital socks are the best socks ever. Every time I'm in the hospital, I take home. Oh, dude, they're comfy and grippy. And that's all you really want in a pair of socks. All right, let's go to the next one.
Okay, next, we're going to jump over to me. So stop share window. And, oh, there we go.
A good producer would have had these already lined up, you know.
I did. I clicked minimize thinking that was a smart thing to do, and it wasn't. All right. I wanted to show, guys, I had abs at one point. Look at that. I was all of like 4 years old. Look at those abs.
So this is the only time in your life you had abs?
Yeah, 100%. And then as close as this is to competition 3 years ago.
Yeah.
2 years,
I mean, look, you're almost getting the V. Like you're.
Look at the V. Look at the abs.
You could see the hip bones.
I know. I'm like, look at that. We were biking. There's a big bike trail by the beach house, and it goes all the way from Grand Rapids to Mackinac, which is like
Mackinac Island. They have fudge.
Yeah, they have fudge there. And it's one of those. I always it's always fun to see a picture of yourself. Like, yeah, I wasn't always ridiculously fat. There was a point in time that I looked relatively normal. I think you guys got to remember that with yourself. There is a point in time you may have been a little baby, but there was a point in time where you were relatively normal sized.
So I was actually having this.
Farger.
That's your father. He's a great guy.
That's my father.
I had
never
this.
seen his upper lip. He's always had a mustache my entire fucking life. 30 years old, never seen his upper lip.
That's
period.
crazy.
Always had a mustache.
So I had this conversation the other day with somebody, and I was scrolling through old pictures of myself, and I had a bunch of like child pictures lined up, and I was just like, you can literally see the metamorphosis, like the exact moment of when everything went downhill. It was like, wow, he's thin, like he's a normal child. What the fuck happened? and
I have that going in my next picture.
Do you? But
yeah.
This is a really great picture of you, David. I have to say,
I was smiling, and I always think this is a tougher conversation, but I think it's super important to be said. Everyone, like personally, there's this group of people that they use the word trauma all the time. Like, where's the trauma? To get to that size, to have to have something bad happen, there has to be trauma. No, there doesn't.
See, I had trauma. You didn't have trauma.
See, you had trauma. I didn't. Literally, like, I grew up in an incredible upbringing. Like, there was never issues. Sunshine and friggin' rainbows. I constantly convey it. So, can you have trauma in your past that creates some of what you're doing? Yes. Does it have to be? No. We went on family vacations. I always had my dad was always around. I mean, yeah, he worked a lot, but he was always around. And it's always fun to see that. Like when I convey the message that my dad worked a lot, I want to make sure that people know, like, yeah, he worked a lot, but it wasn't like he was never around.
Right.
So yeah. So we'll pop back over to Mr. John Arpino's number 2 picture.
I can't wait to see what pops up right now, because I don't even know what order they're going in. Yeah, I don't know what order they're going in.
Bam! You're in the gym.
Oh, that's a good one.
You're in the gym.
Yeah, man.
Sucking on air.
I am sucking on air.
It looks like you have purple lips, like you may be dying.
I probably was dying. So this is somewhere again. This is right after the prior picture. So this is when I was like, okay, need to join a gym. So this is right after. If you know my story, this is right after I left the pulmonary rehab facility. This is when me and Steve first started working together.
Is this your gym that you go to now? Still?
No, this gym is actually not even around anymore. But this was my first ever place where I had like a gym membership. You know what I mean? Like this was my first gym. So, like I've said, starting at the starting weight that I was, above 500 pounds, being 6'5", super hard to fit in machines, right? And because of my asthma, super hard to actually like get into a rhythm of working out and like not gasping for air all the time and blah, 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 blah. So this picture was taken actually in the middle of a video, and in that video, I am slamming down a like 10 to 15 pound medicine ball as hard as I can, over and over for like as long as I could. And that was the workout. And we would do reps of that for as long as I could, for probably 20 minutes, a half hour, and then move on to another little circuit. And that would be my workout. And workouts like that were literally all I was doing for probably like the first year and a half. You know, like I said, this was an entire year before I ever decided to have bariatric surgery. So this is just don't know what we're doing yet, like trying to figure it all out, like trying not to die at the same time because my asthma is so bad. And right there, actually, right after this picture's taken, it's actually me going, I can't, that. And I was like, I can't do this. So like if you listen to the video, it's me going, I can't do this anymore. And Yep.
No shit. You have a video with us. See, that's actually one of my biggest regrets is like, I don't have a lot of pictures and videos of the first 70 pounds of weight loss.
I thank Steve for that. You know, I never wanted to take pictures. You know,
I don't have it.
The day me and him started working together, he was like, you need to go home after this and you need to take your first progress picture. You know, shirt off, shorts only. And I was like, no. And he was like, yeah, no, that's how we're going to do things. And I was like, all right. So then I took that picture, and then, you know, every workout after that, it was just like, all right, I'm going to take a picture of you, or I'm taking this video. And most of the time I wouldn't even know. And then as I, you know, got into it, and, you know, obviously when the JR's Journey page was born, it was just like, hey, can you know, whatever. But yeah, this was, that is real deal JR at his prime.
Yeah, see, that's always a tough one because, like, for me, my first 70 pounds was my first 100 pounds was incline walking on a treadmill, playing pickup basketball at the gym at the college I went to.
Yeah,
and then walking and jogging outside.
For me, it was the medicine ball that I just told you about. It was the row machine, and it was this little step up, literally like an inch and a half off the ground. Yep. And that was it. Okay. And that's all we were able to do.
All right. So next round of what we got going on here for me.
Do for David.
All right. So bam. So from that we go to bam.
I love it. I like how your face is starting to
straight up. I was a freaking bowling ball in like middle school.
Me too, bud.
My height to fat ratio was such a ridiculous. I was round.
Yeah,
like straight up circular. Everything was circular. And this was actually in Chicago at a wedding at long backstory is my babysitter for a few years, and then my babysitter in like when I was a kid, and then we got invited to her wedding, and it was like a super bougie wedding.
So who's this in this picture? Are these friends or family?
So we were the only non-family at this wedding. We actually were looked at really weird because it was a small wedding in downtown Chicago.
And then they said, "Here comes the fat kid." Fuck.
No, like literally, it was super weird because like. No, honestly. So like the backstory, I won't like name names, but like they're like trust fund families from Detroit. Like, and she was my my first through fourth grade babysitter, but she like had a trust fund. There was no reason for her to even be a babysitter, and so it was super funny because people would ask, "Wait, how did you get her to be your long term? How much you paying her?"
Yeah,
I don't know, $15 an hour. Like, what's the big deal? Oh, she's doing that, and like everyone got super confused by it. So when we went to this wedding, it was a super like bougie wedding, and everyone's like, "Who are these people?" It's all family, and then us. And so it was just a unique perspective that things are different. I just find it funny that I literally had a round.
So who's on the left and who's on the right? I'm more intrigued by these women right now, to be honest with you. You have no idea who that is.
I don't know who this is. Nope. But this is the sister of the girl who was my babysitter. Yeah.
All right. I'm loving the face. You look. You look like the kid from the movie Bad News Bears. The little blonde boy with the. Do you know what I'm talking about? Please tell me you know what I'm talking about. Okay, good.
You little shit. All right, please explain this to me. Why do you have
absolutely?
Big, like,
I will tell you.
Why? Okay.
All right. So this is 1 month, maybe less than 1 month, after I had bariatric sleeve surgery. So that huge circle on the bottom of my flap there, that is where they put me. That's where they injected blood thinner into me for surgery. And for some reason, it just fucking got all bruised up. And bro, that bruise didn't go away. No joking around for probably like 4.5 months. But so if you
got like smoked by a baseball.
No, so if you look in the dead middle of my stomach, that scar right there is the main incision, and then you see to the right those little blemishes. There's 2 more incisions, and to the left there's 2 more incisions. So I was taking progress pictures, obviously because I was working out, because I'd already been working out for like a year at this point, and so they were for Steve, and they were also for my doctor. I don't remember if particularly this one was to see the bruising or what it was, but I'm literally at work in this picture, by the way. This is in the inside of my dad's old office. Like, just...
No shit.
Yeah, just no shame, just taking off my shirt, whatever. Yeah, man. So, like, you could see my face is starting to thin out, like, a little bit here now.
How much are you down on this picture?
So, prior to surgery, I was already down almost 90 pounds. At this point, I've probably already lost about 125 pounds or so. So
actually, this actually does a good question. So I see the line of where your belt usually goes. So
right.
You were a over the belly belt person.
Yes, but not by choice.
Transitioned.
I was forced. So when my grandma was still alive, she was like, "You can't do this stomach over the belt thing anymore." She was like, "You just gotta tuck it." And I was just like, I was never about that life. You know what I mean? But I did it, and then that caused the big cut. You see it, like, and then your stomach would kind of like the fat would just be weird after that. I don't know. It is what it is.
So actually, because for me, I never I had the belly flap go over my I didn't usually wear a belt. If I did, it had to be a super small buckle because any type of like hard buckle, it would just rub on the underside of the belly, and I could not get myself to go up to over the belly pants and belt. And so like my biggest belt size was only like a 48.
Oh wow.
Something like that.
My biggest belt size like a 70 something.
But see, I never went over my stomach.
No, I know.
I was a person that I literally would have half my butt cheeks showing from the crack because my pants sat so low because I did not want to put my belt and my pants over into my stomach.
Absolutely.
So
also, fun fact about this photo too, really quickly. Back to those incisions. So I don't have any of those incisions anymore. Not because, the scarring went away or anything like that. When I got my tummy tuck in, by the time I lost all my weight, you'll see it a little bit when we show that loose skin photo. So all those scars significantly moved down. Right.
Yep.
And what happened was where that dead middle scar is, they kind of turned that into my new belly button after I had the tummy tuck.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Yep. Interesting. Okay. We're back to me. What do we got?
Guys, if you're not watching this live or you're not watching this on YouTube, I'm telling you right now, you need to be because these pictures are gold. I've always wondered about this photo as to what the fuck is going on here.
All right. Backstory. Senior year of high school. We are in the summer after senior year, between senior year of high school and freshman year of college.
Right.
And we decided to do a boys' weekend to Chicago as like a last celebration before I went to CMU. Phil went to wherever, and then all the other buddies were going all over where they were going to for college and stuff like that. So my parents got us a hotel room in Chicago. I had to. Super funny story of how that happened because I was only 18 at the time. I wasn't 21 to get a hotel room.
Right.
But basically, we did this whole spiel. Like, I went up there with my 18. I was 18 at the time and stuff. And, oh, yeah, my mom's coming later. Can I get the keys? And blah, blah, blah. And it was all in her name. And they were like, okay, yeah, sure.
I used to do that in Atlantic City all the time. All the time I used to do that in Atlantic City.
And but we had been walking around downtown city of Chicago for the entire day. It was like 85 degrees, hot as balls.
Oh, you could tell you're hot.
Shit.
Yeah, you could tell.
And and I was chafing so fucking bad. It hurt.
Yep.
Like it could have been bleeding for all I know. And I told the guys, I was like, guys, I need air conditioning. I need to sit. Like, and there was another picture in particular. That's where the close up of my red face is. The one you see like in a lot of my before and afters. My red face. That's in the pizzeria we're in.
Oh, you are in a pizzeria. I knew it. You were at a fucking pizzeria.
We're in a pizzeria. Oh yeah, we ate some Chicago deep dish, and I probably ate a whole pizza myself. I don't recall. And I was just hot. I was done. Like, and this is always a super important like conversation for me.
Right.
Weight loss and what this journey is about. Yes, it's about the number. It plays a role. Yes, it's about blood work. It plays a role. Yes, it's about experiences. It plays a role. All of it comes together to explain to you why losing hundreds of pounds is important for your life. And this one in particular for me was being in Chicago with all the guys, when they're excited to walk all the way to Nike Town to go to the Nike store and all, I'm fucking suffering.
Yep, I feel that.
Suffering. And it's like just the simple things as walking downtown with your friends. And number one, when you go to Nike stores, when we went to Nike Town, I could only buy shoes.
Right.
I bought 3 pairs of shoes because that's the only thing I could buy.
Yep.
I bought shoes. I bought 3 pairs of shoes while everyone else is buying all this stuff and having a fun time. I'm like, I just stood in the shoes area. Like, that's all I could do. And so it just fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Like, the quality of life that I could have lived at 400 pounds compared to now, it's just they're different levels, man.
Absolutely.
And it's just, and that's the backstory to me, where it's like, it's just, it was brutal. It was brutal. Any in particular questions you have with it all, or is it?
I feel like I really had. That definitely did it justice. I felt like I had something I wanted to say, but we can move on. I was gonna destroy the picture probably, but we'll move on.
I was gonna destroy the picture. All right, we're back to you. Hello.
There we go. So
all right, there's some excess.
This is
Can I lose hundreds of pounds without having excess skin?
I love that question.
No, Sally, just stop.
Let's preface that question one more time. Can I lose hundreds of pounds? I am hundreds of pounds overweight. Do you think I'll have loose skin? No, I don't think, sir. I know you will have loose skin. This is the night before I had my tummy tuck.
Okay.
So, yeah, I wanted one last picture. I wanted just to be able to just hold it one more time and just know that the following day the tummy was going to be gone finally. I'm not one of those people that is going to like sugarcoat it and be like, oh, I love my excess skin. I love it. I didn't fucking love it. No part of me ever loved it. It was annoying. It got in the way. When it got sweaty, it smelt. Like, let's be humans and let's be honest with each other here.
Yep.
And it chafed a lot. So no, I didn't fucking love it. I hated it. And I couldn't wait for the guy to cut it off. That's why I was paying all this money for him to cut it the hell off. But yeah, it just got to the point where, like, I remember I was able to take both hands and just, like, ice cream scoop the hell out of the bottom of my stomach to the point where, like, all that skin would be, like, almost to my chest bone. You know what I mean? That's how much loose skin I had going on. I will say my shoulders and my arms looked really good at this point in time.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Looking pretty solid.
Yeah, no, I was solid then. I was wrestling training then. I was, lifting every single day. I was wrestling training 2 to 3 times a week. Like, I was peak performance here. And then had a tummy tuck the following day, and it was all gone. Well, not the tits, but everything else was all gone.
I still find that I didn't put that one in there, but I still find that the combination funny, because most people will get their waist, hips, and butt done first, and then their tits.
Yeah.
And so, like, there's a phase where you have, like, a lean stomach and then boobs.
But then, have you ever seen, like, the flip side of that? I've noticed a lot of guys now, they're getting the chest done first and then waiting to have the stomach. And I'm just like, that's an interesting way to do it. But I feel like I would be more mad Like, yeah, I wanted the tits gone more than anything. Like, more than anything. Like we discussed on last week's show. Like, having the chest done was more of a relief than really the tummy tuck. But I just feel like in the grand scheme of things, having the bottom half done before the top half is just a little bit more life changing, at least for a guy.
Yeah, and the big thing too is, at least I remember when I had my consultation, he wanted the waist, tips, and butt done first because as you pull down from the waist,
exactly,
the scar lines of your chest can go goofy and they can get bilaterally uneven because of just how things sit. So you're better off doing waist, tips, and butt first and then chest second, so that chest is nice and even when you're there.
Exactly, and that's why they'll never do top and bottom at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. They don't. They very rarely do top and bottom at the same time.
Yeah,
I wouldn't recommend it. So now we're back to me.
I'm loving these so far, to be honest with you.
All right, this is fun.
This is little Dutch boy David.
Actually,
here he is.
This is full on 400-pound David. Like, this is straight up 400-pound David. This was like 21, 22, and I mean, look at my thumb.
Yeah,
my thumb was huge. My thumbs were just fucking massive. Bowling ball. When I bowled, like, my thumb was just huge.
Your dad's a good-looking man.
This goes back. Isn't it funny? Like, wait, so was your dad fat? No, he was a fucking marathon runner.
Yeah.
Still mustache. I like to acknowledge the fact. Still has a mustache. You go back to the first picture when I was like 4 years old. Mustache.
Yep.
I am now 22 years old. Mustache. He has always had a mustache, and I expect him to have a mustache till I die, or till he dies, whichever comes first. And so I wanted to preface this one, the same general concept. Like, again, I think it's super friggin' important to know, like, when you're thinking about losing hundreds of pounds, and we live in this weird time and day of, like, body positivity that basically promotes obesity, saying it's healthy and fine, and it's a really gray area. The quality of your life still suffers. I don't give a fuck what you say.
I mean, look at the pain in your eyes. You know what I mean? Like, you could tell.
So the big thing is, I couldn't ski. Like, I've been skiing now since this whole time, throughout my whole weight loss journey, and I couldn't make it till 11 a.m. We skied from 9 to 11, and I couldn't ski past 11. I skied for 2 hours, and I could not ski anymore because my feet and legs hurt so fucking much.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't go any longer.
I've never skied, ever.
And now, it's brutal. When you're significantly overweight, skiing is super painful on your feet because you're in these plastic, like, boots, and you got this fatty, like, all this weight, and it's just not good. And so, like, when I go to Utah and ski with Dad, I would ski till 11 a.m., and Dad would keep going, and I'd be done, and I would just chill at the base. And that was it. And now I ski all day like it's nothing, and I don't even get tired skiing for 6-7 hours. And so, again, it's like the quality of the life difference between the two of doing the exact same activity.
Right.
Like 400-pound David skiing versus 240-pound David skiing. It's two completely fucking different lives.
Absolutely.
It really is. Like, what you can do and the experience of it. So, I mean, I still did stuff like this, but the amount you could do it was definitely restricted. All right. What we got? Back to John. What we got next here?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Oh, yeah. Look at that inhaler.
Yeah.
Look at that inhaler there, sir.
You ever hear the saying, I keep that thing on me?
Look at that bag.
I always had that thing on me. Right in arm's reach, had that thing on me. What? So this, again, is from another... there was a video being taken of this at the same time, and it was me and my best friend at the time. And he was filming a Snapchat of me, I don't remember, and it's something along the lines of, like, me telling him he was right about something, and I'm just sitting in his living room, and I owe his parents a new couch, actually. Not that couch, the couch in their basement, because my fat ass literally destroyed their couch downstairs. And, yeah, this is a favorite picture of mine because, like, this is one of the pictures I remember looking at when I was heavy, like, seeing it after he took it and being like, this is how the world looks at me. You know what I mean? Like, there is nothing flattering going on here at all.
Yep.
I hate it. Look at the size of my fingers. Look at the size of my hand, my forearm, my legs again. Like,
look at that watch, holding on for dear life.
Holding on for fucking dear life. Like, it's gonna pop at any moment.
You still wear watches.
Yeah. And like, look at the double, triple, quarter pound chin.
And not to mention, I'm going to pivot it because it's super important. Look at the cargo pants, the cargo shorts.
So you had the same pair on and
rocket.
Yeah. Listen, so when I lost weight, I was like, bro, I've worn tan cargo pants for as long as I can remember. Like DXL keeps them in stock. And then I went to normal stores and I was like, y'all got any khaki shorts? And they're like, no, that hasn't been in style since like 1998. And I'm like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, what do you wear in the summer?
Pants like every day, cargo shorts every day.
Yeah, and
it's big and tall.
I was like, what do you mean? What do you wear in the summer? What do you all put on? You skinny folk and shit. Like, what do
you skinny bastards?
Yeah, man. I must have had like 5 pairs of those shorts. All the same shorts, but you know. Yeah.
That's funny. Oh my gosh.
Can't even open. My eyes are open there, by the way. Like, that's open
that was the same
eyes.
thing with me. Did you notice that? The same thing with me when my heaviest weight to my age, I had it was like slits for eyes.
Yeah.
You couldn't, like the fat even mess with how much your eyes could see.
Absolutely. Picnic table shirt brought to you by DXO.
All right, on to next. What we got? So this is a super important backstory to me. Like, this is also a classic one for me, and I think
that's the David picture.
And it is because it pisses me off because it shouldn't be. Because this picture, I was already down over 50 pounds, probably 60, maybe even 70.
Well, you could tell in your face.
Like, yeah, you can see my face already.
Yeah.
And one of my biggest regrets, and I will convey it to the cows come home, I don't have a 400-pound shirtless picture of me. It does not fucking exist. I remember when I started my journey, I did take a shirtless picture of myself, and I fucking deleted it. I couldn't do it. I couldn't have it on my phone, so I deleted it. And it's still one of the most frustrating things to me because it's like everyone, when I make videos like, oh, you don't look 400 pounds in this picture. I wasn't.
Right.
I was like 360 or 340, probably 330.
Right.
But this is the heaviest shirtless picture I have. And it's frustrating because it's like I wish I had a 400-pound shirtless picture of me. I don't have it. And so for anyone listening to this that's in the early stages of their transformation, fucking do it. You hate it. Do it anyways.
Take those pictures, guys. You're going to want them.
You save it somewhere else. Take the picture, put it on your hard drive in the middle of Bangladesh. Never look at it until you transform your life. But you're going to wish you had that picture.
Absolutely.
It's going to give you a lot of perspective and the importance of why you take progress pictures. And look at those Canadian bacon nipples right there.
Looking like 2 Flavor Flav clocks. You know what I mean? Just one on each side.
Why? I still don't understand. Like, why were my nipples so?
I never had big nipples. I never did.
You didn't have big nipples. I had fucking massive nipples.
I mean, even now after I got my tits done, you say it all the time. I have tiny nipples.
Yeah, look at my belly button too. That's wild. Did you hear that?
Yeah, what was that?
That was like 2 crotch rockets cruising past by my house. That's wild.
That's crazy.
So like I used to hide like a bunch of pennies and quarters.
I thought you were going to tell me you hid snacks in your belly button. I was about to hang up on you.
I didn't do snacks. No, not snacks, but like quarters and shit. And then also I used to. This is like my my joke. My freshman year of college, I used to hide people's cell phones under my boots.
I remember you saying that in another episode on here.
Yep, straight up. Not my proudest moments, but
nothing like getting your BlackBerry back and it's full of titty sweat.
When your identity is being the funny fat kid, you do what you can.
Absolutely,
you do what you can.
Only the strongest survive. But seriously, like you can tell just by looking at that photo that you were already in the midst of a weight loss journey. You know what I mean? So
no, definitely.
That's the last photo.
Nope, I got one more. You still got one more too, or do you? Oh, was that your last?
No, that was my last.
That was your last one. All right, so we'll do my last one because you didn't.
I sent you 4.
Yeah, I did one extra because I'm like that, and I.
Oh right, this is his chiseled piece of man meat.
Yeah.
Here we go, and I'm gonna shit all over this picture. Ready?
Because I'm just like,
bam. Look at this. We uploaded this one into Lightroom. Yeah. We got all the right angles.
Oh, look at that! Yeah, look at that. I even drew in that vein in my.
I don't think your traps have ever looked that good. Ever.
Angles, baby, angles and lighting.
Your traps. And that bicep.
I look like a fucking mule in this picture.
Yeah. I'm calling bullshit on this one.
There's no other than lighting. There's no editing other than lighting.
No, you look good here, bud. You definitely do.
But again, it's super fun to know. It's like 400-pound David. Did I ever think this was fucking possible? Not a chance. I did not think that this was possible.
Absolutely.
I think that's super important to know in where you're at. My biggest moment was like, stop thinking about losing 200. Let's just focus on 2 pounds a week. That was the biggest bite-sized goal I could think of.
Right.
Was 2 pounds a week. And if you would have told 400-pound plus David that he was going to lose 200 pounds, compete in a bodybuilding show, look like this, I would have said you're out of your fucking mind.
I agree.
And so, yeah. So I thought I'd just one up John like that. Since I saw him didn't put up a after picture, I was like, I got to do it just to be that guy.
And I was nice, guys. Like, if you listen back to this episode, I didn't shit on his photos as bad as I could have. You know what I'm saying? So, like, we're gonna do another one of these in the future, and I'm gonna rip this kid to shreds. That's what's gonna happen.
That's funny.
I like, not for nothing. I really liked this.
This was fun.
I had a good time.
It was a fun idea. It was nice and smooth. I think. I'll be honest. I think the live went well. From looking between these two screens, actually, the everything.
I just X'd out of it just now, but yeah. So,
yeah,
guys, I hope that you enjoyed this episode. We really do encourage you to watch the YouTube version of this if you are listening to this on the day of drop. As always, you can follow the Accountable Life Group at Accountable Life Group on Instagram. We encourage you to join our brand new and improved Facebook community. So you can find the link to that in the bio of this video, little comment section. There'll be a link. You can follow him at fit_drock. You can follow me at JARPS_journey. You can save money by going on to redcon1.com for the highest data readiness. Go to redcon1.com. Use promo code T20JARPS. And for Real Good Foods, you can use promo code The Gains in Between. That's The Gains, GAINZ, in between. And you'll save money upon checkout. 5-star rate and review. Share this with someone who you think will enjoy it or it will inspire. And if you liked this episode, specifically the format of this episode, please leave us a comment or shoot us a DM. We want to know if you guys want to hear and see more stuff like this. The community call goes down each and every single Wednesday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that's it. I'm done with commercials. Take us home, David. Stay beautiful, stay sexy, stay accountable.
Toodles.